Hi there, welcome to the Retro Tech 120p challenge. It's still Christmas when I'm recording this, so cue the fake snow. There we go, that's a nice overlay, isn't it? Right, so Retro Tech 120p challenge is this. You can have as many practice goes as you want, but as soon as you press record, you just get the 2 credits, I'm afraid. But please do come and join in, there'll be the link down below. Before I go any further though, I want you to look at the screen. And you see the power-ups there. Here comes the yellow one. In this game, it encourages you to eat yellow snow. So don't let your children play this. Because yellow snow in this game makes you better. In real life, makes you very poorly. Snow Brothers. Yes, it's a Taoplan arcade game. As you can see, it's very much like a Bubble Bobble or a Rainbow Islands or a game of that nature, of which there are many hidden in the arcades back in the day. Some better than others, Rodland, things like that. I've done a video which is either up or is about to be up, depending on when you're watching it, which is MAME Oddities 5. So I think there's a game like that on this. I did record it quite a little while ago, but I thought I'd better get out some Christmas content. Well, it's not really Christmassy content, but it's content anyway. And I think there's a game like that in there. There's a lot of kind of like the Korean companies put out games that looked a bit like that. So, yeah. Anyway, this game, though, came out in 1990. Taoplan was converted to, at the time, NES, the Game Boy, the Mega Drive, and it also was released for Android and Apple a lot later on, obviously. It was planned by Ocean in France to come out on home computers such as the Amiga, the Atari ST, the Spectrum, Commodore 64, and even there was planned Amstrad GX 4000. So they were denied a further game, taking up to an impressive 25, I think. Sorry about that, Amstrad owners. Amstrad GX 4000 owners, sorry. It was nearly finished, especially on the Amiga. The Amiga one was getting a lot of excitable praise, and you can see why. I mean, it looks like an Amiga game. It's got that kind of look to it, hasn't it? As opposed to like a Mega Drive game or something like that, even though it did come out on the Mega Drive. But I can see this working very well on the Amiga. So a big shame that it didn't eventually come out. It's worth looking into the story behind that if you're so inclined. But even though I've got, I think, about another 10 minutes, I'm probably going to spend that time talking about genitals. Such is the way. In terms of other games I've got in the pipeline, videos, before we get to the genital facts, the meat of the matter, if you will. The meat in your matter. Dirty. I've got an ALF one coming next week, about the Master System version of ALF. And there is also one about Muncher on the Commodore 64 and the Spectrum. There is other stuff obviously in the pipeline, but you'll have to wait and see what that is. Which I can't because I can't remember anyway. And then the other thing is, it is the last opportunity. You have until Sunday to vote for me on the YouTuber of the month for December. It will close at midnight on December the 31st. I'm not likely to win at this stage, but I am second. The very talented What Host Snorkers is going to win from the looks of it. And you know what? If you've watched his content and you've watched my content, you'd go, well, that's fair enough. He's a very he's a strange man. I know this is coming from the man that does Genital Facts, but he is extremely talented. He does a lot of work to do with kind of very original work to do with like spectrum coding, and he has a incredible blue stroke green screen setup. And I really shouldn't be ahead of Daft to be fair either, who does It's Crap content. My stuff's really generic compared to those two. So, but yeah, have a look at that video anyway, and have a vote for who you think should win, because I think everyone involved this month, Super Jimtendo, the person who won last month, again another individual talent, a very original talent himself. He is very much about people coming up with good ideas, good quality ideas, and you should have a look at his stuff as well. Also Generation Pixel, who does what I do much better, who was the host of this as well, but won't be the host for next month, so have a look at his stuff as well. Right, so anyway, Genital Facts. Let's talk about those. So I've done some snow related ones this time around, or places to do with snow anyway. So first up, I'm going to talk about polar bear courtship. So polar bears, they're quite a solitary animal, because you know what, we haven't done animals in ages. It's not because I've run out of animals, it's because, and there isn't even any polar bears in this, but I haven't had a reason to do animals for ages, because everyone keeps picking bloody space shooters or shoot 'em ups. And yeah, even I was going to pick one this week. I was going to pick Star Wars. Obviously it didn't come up on the wheel, but at least I've got some Genital Facts unbelievably about Star Wars. Whereas, oh look, end of level boss, and he's like a gremlin. He's got like a pulsing arsehole, which is never good. But yeah, polar bears. Polar bears are solitary and seek out mating partners in the late spring or the early summer. Males may fight, as we do over ladies, over a female, and will usually find the female by scent. She must stink, because snow is pretty expansive, but I can see why the males fight, because once you see a female, because all you got to go by is like a couple of 3 black dots in the snow from the nose and the eyes, right? So you're like, oh, there's one, and I suppose you have to then check out to see, what they're packing. Anyway, they mate for about a week, and then the fella will go off looking for another mate, and it's like, I don't know, I wouldn't be asked, it's too cold, just stay with her, bring up the kids, dude. Anyway, so they begin breeding from about the age of 6 or 7, and they live for 30 years. Anyway, I've done the first stage there. I don't survive for too much longer, so I better get to the other big one, because the other one's a big one. So that's enough about polar bears, and we're going to talk about Iceland now. No, not the supermarket, as we always have to say in jokes about Iceland. So Iceland is surprisingly the most sexually liberated country, as the first critic goes, in the world. Women will regularly make as many moves on gentlemen as the other way around, and there is a culture there of one-night stands that is more prevalent there than any other country per capita in the world. Relationships among younger citizens are usually quite short and are generally placed on the sexual satisfaction of the participants involved. So if you're no good at putting cock to purpose, then you're out the door, Sonny Jim. Iceland Air noticed this trend with the young people of Iceland and started pushing the idea that it was quite easy for men to go to Iceland and have sex with beautiful blonde girls. And they put out slogans with fancy a dirty weekend in Reykjavik and have a one-night stand in Iceland. Well, obviously, this made out that Icelandic women are a little bit easy, and they're almost like free tourist rides, like a free Disney World of vagina. And this made Icelandic women go, look, we enjoy doing this stuff, but don't make out we're hoes, all right? And obviously feminists got very upset, and you can kind of understand why. Nudity is also very commonplace in Iceland. Now, what surprises me about both these things, about nudity and kind of like the one night stands thing, one, nudity wise, it's pretty cold there, so I'd put a coat on most of the time if I was them. And two, and you probably know all this about Iceland, is that it's got quite a small population, and a lot of people are related, and to the point where, and the way that surnames work over there is it's you know, if you're called, like over here, your whole lineage is called like Smith or Jones or something like that, you know, like from your granddad up, depending on who you got married to or whatever. But generally, like these names last. Now, in Iceland, that's not the case. You're called the son or daughter. So you're called, you know, I don't know, Eric son or Eric daughter. So you don't even know who you're related to a lot of the time. As my last credit there has come to an end, so must the Genital Facts. But that, I don't have anything more to say on it anyway, so that's good, isn't it? Anyway, yes, so yeah, if you did want to vote for me, go and vote for me. Have a look at some of the other videos. Have a look at some of the other people mentioned in the voting videos as well. And have a look at some of the other videos on the channel. Anyway, like, subscribe, and thanks. Bye, kids. Ho, ho, ho.